The Eagle's marketing make your brand fly high like an eagle.
Enjoy this cut.
When I was young, my dad used to collect baseball cards, like sports cards.
Your father?
Yeah. And he used to have a lot of them, like thousands and thousands and thousands.
Really?
And every night when I would come home at the end of the night, my dad would pull out boxes of sports cards and we'd go through them and we'd sit down and watch TV. A lot of times we were watching sports. And, he would pull out various sports cards and he taught me in each sport how to analyze the stats of a player to determine if they were good or bad. And so, I would pick out, he would hand me two and he would say, is this person good or is this person bad? And what I determined, so what I would do is I would find two players and it was always pretty cut and dry. This person is better than this person. And what ended up happening is I got to a point in which I found two that were similar. And I brought them to my dad and I said, these are pretty similar. Who's better? And my dad, every time I would do this, my dad would say, this person is better because they win. So to me, right, there was always clear measurables in life. But what I realized is that the deciding factor was winning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then when you looked at all of the people who were accomplished winners, there was one singular variable that was superior across the board. Take the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the Tom Brady's, the Mike Tyson's, right? And the commonality is relentless work ethic. Relentless, right? So in my mind, now I'm also seeing my dad. My dad is up at 5 a.m. He's out the house. He's home at 7 p.m.
You mentioned blue collar labor.
6 days a week, right? So I'm seeing my dad, put in 14-hour days, 6 days a week. And then I'm seeing him point at all these high-level athletes who are the same. And it puts me in a position where I say, this is the recipe, right? So I grew up on that mentality. And then as I got older, I moved to this, rich kid town. And I'm seeing all these privileged kids F off, right?
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, these kids are going to get squashed in life, man. And so, as I got into adulthood, I realized that not only was he 100% right, but this is the single variable that has separated me having the success that I have now versus, some of my peers. Right.
Wow,
and it comes back to what you were saying, which is mindset.
Wow, man. Your dad must be very proud, to say like, that you got that, or, to see that like his son understands that and sees that view as, it's very nice, man.
Yeah. The sooner you do this, the sooner you get to, you're running your own company, you own property, right? You got other people who are renting from you, paying your bills. You're making more money. There's people working for you. You're making money off them. Now money's coming from everywhere. Exactly. Now you can afford a nice house, a nice car, nice clothes, vacations.
Yes.
But the thing is, you deserve it now. There's a difference. The biggest problem that you can have in this life is determining that you deserve it before you do.
You're right.
Because nothing will hold you back more than that.
Like you want to anticipate your dreams.
Exactly. Nothing, because right? If I tell myself that I deserve it too early, I'm just failing myself. And actually what I'm doing is I'm actually establishing the ceiling. I'm saying, all right, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Right? We're good. The second you let off the gas, right? Somebody else is coming in the rear view.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I always approach it from like, I can afford a nicer house than I have. I could afford a nicer car than I have. I could afford more vacations than I go on. I could afford to go out to eat every night if I wanted to, but I don't. Why? Because I'm still climbing, right? So the secret is not, the secret is to constantly, to know that you can do more and to do less on purpose, right? That is what sets you apart. And that's what allows for you to continue to climb.
That was important. I know that you can do more, but do less on purpose.
And they say, Kobe, you're 37, 38, you're on the back nine, right? You're getting old, you're close to retiring. Are you concerned this year, going into the start of the year, about trying to keep up with the younger players? And you know what his response is? He said, listen, guys, let me let you in on a little secret. He said, I have been playing this game for 20 years. For 20 years, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., I practice. At 5 a.m., I lift. I eat. I practice. I rest. I eat. I practice. I rest. And he goes on and on. He goes through his whole day. And he said, the average player in the NBA wakes up 9, 10 o'clock, has food, goes and practices. He said, I am practicing 4 to 5 times the amount of the average player in the league. And I have been doing this for 20 years. He said, am I worried about the younger players? He said, you cannot get enough shots up in your lifetime to catch me, bro.
There you go. Simple.
So, am I a little slower? Am I a little older? Yeah, that's true. Will you make more shots than me? No.
Never.
Right.
And this is the same mentality it comes back to in regards to waking up early. If you are putting in 25 hours more, 25 weeks of work more than the next guy,
You're way ahead.
what do you think the chances are of that person succeeding more than you?
No way.
It's an uphill battle.
And,
And that's why I'm saying you don't need to be smarter.
you need to be repeat.
Repeat.
Like, and if you pay attention, and guys like O'Brien, using both, and if you watch their life, you can be boring because they do the same thing every day.
Yep.
But they do every day. So other athletes do sometimes, and they do every day. That's why they are
The
super
best.
good on this, because they repeat every day.
I don't think that I'm the smartest person there ever was. And I don't think I have to be. But you know what I do think allows for me to outperform a whole lot of other people that I know is every single day I wake up at 4 a.m. Every single night I go to bed before 9:30 p.m. no matter what.
Mhm.
Right?
Nice.
Why? Even if I go to a networking event, I'm out till 10:30. I'm waking up at 4.
It's your schedule.
Why I say this is, think about this. If you wake up at 4:30, and you go to bed at 9:30, right? Wake up. What time does most people start their work?
Right.
7,
8, 7.
7, between 7 and 9.
Okay. So now, if you had 3 extra hours every day, how much more productive could you be than the next guy?
Right.
Like 1 day more per week.
Maybe you go to the gym. Maybe you're in better shape. Maybe you cook food. Means you spend less on when you're going out to lunch. Right? Maybe you wake up. Maybe you listen to a podcast. Maybe you learn. Maybe you read a little book. Maybe,
You're up, you know?
But the idea is you are now what I do at all times, I have a list of things that I need to do in my phone, in my notes section of my phone. And as the day goes along, you ever get somebody text you and you're like, I don't want to deal with that right now? Or you get an email and you're like, later,
Yeah.
right? Right? Or, you know, your girlfriend or your wife calls you and says, can you pick something up on the way home, right? All this, there's constantly things that get added, right?
Into the schedule.
And you're sitting there and you're like, bro, my cup is full. Right?
Like there's nowhere.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is just add it to the list. Add it to the list. Right? And what I do is I you know, you start work at 7 and you know maybe you're done at 5 or 6 or whatever. Great. I go home at the end of the day. I sit down, I have dinner, right? I watch little TV, whatever, with my wife. The thing is, I wake up at 4. Between 4 and 7, guess what happens? That list.
Yes.
Moving.
And you know what happens is if you start every single day knocking off 5, 6, 7 things on your to-do list, what's your mentality? Stress is down.
Right. You're banging it out.
Right? So it's like, you know how many people I know, they wake up in the morning, the alarm's going off, they snooze it, they're like, F this, snooze it, then they wake up, they're running around, they got to get the coffee because they're tired, right? The thing is, you decide how much stress your day starts with.
Yes.
And what I will guarantee you is you establish a hard stop on the end of your night. Is anything good, productive happening between 9 and 11 p.m.?
Right.
You're not being productive. So what I do is I say, hey, look, I got a hard stop. My workday ends at, let's say, 6. Great. I'm done working at 6. I'm home. I'm spending time with my family, but I'm going to bed at 9 or 9:30, and that is what it is. And I wake up at 4, and I got 2 to 3 hours of I'm getting myself right. I'm checking off my to-dos. I'm making sure my food's prepped up. I'm putting myself in a position to succeed. And now maybe I go to the gym. So now I'm in a position where it's like, all right, my health is better. I'm in better shape. I got my food taken care of. I'm spending less money. My to-do list items are checked off. Now I'm going into the day low stress.
Dub.
And it's like, if you do that, so think about this, those like 2 to 3 hours of productivity, knocking things off your to-do list, do that times 365, right? Now, think about that. That's over 1,000 hours of somebody else. So now let's take this, a 40-hour work week, right? That means if you woke up 3 hours before everybody else, that means 40-hour work week. You worked 25 more weeks than the other guy.
In a year.
In a year. Think about that.
That crazy.
25 more weeks of work.
So if I do this, bro,
Just waking up earlier.
So so there's a famous interview. You should go back and watch it. Kobe Bryant, right?
I know.
Kobe Bryant's towards the tail end of his career, and they interview him, and they say, Kobe, you know, you're 37, 38, you're on the back nine, right? You're getting old, you know, you're close to retiring. Are you concerned this year, going into the start of the year, about trying to keep up with the younger players? And you know what his response is? He said, listen, guys, let me let you in on a little secret. He said, I have been playing this game for 20 years. For 20 years, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., I practice. At 5 a.m., I lift. I eat, I practice, I rest, I eat, I practice, I rest. And he goes on and on. He goes through his whole day. And he said, he said, the average player in the NBA wakes up 9, 10 o'clock, has food, goes and practices. He said, I am practicing 4 to 5 times the amount of the average player in the league. And I have been doing this for 20 years. He said, am I worried about the younger players? He said, you cannot get enough shots up in your lifetime to catch me, bro.
There you go. Simple.
Am I a little slower? Am I a little older? Yeah, that's true. Will you make more shots than me? No.
Never.
Right.
And this is the same mentality it comes back to in regards to waking up early. If you are putting in 25 hours more, 25 weeks of work more than the next guy,
You're way ahead.
what do you think the chances are of that person succeeding more than you?
No way.
It's an uphill battle.
And,
And that's why I'm saying you don't need to be smarter.
you need to be repeat.
Repeat.
Like, and if you pay attention, and guys like Kobe Bryant, we using both, and if you watch their life, you can be boring because they do the same thing every day.
Yep.
But they do every day. So other athletes do sometimes, and they do every day. That's why they are
The
super
best.
good on this, because they repeat every day.
Thank you for watching this video.
Like and subscribe, and please comment below.
Thank you so much.